Hello and welcome to another Steely Coast Van Pleasure Beach update. Today it is the day that we have to have every year. Obviously it's closing day, Saturday the 30th of November 2024, the final Inside the Park update for this year. But obviously, as always, I will be out most weekends outside the park doing the perimeter walks and seeing what I can see from outside, as always, obviously, because we do live here, don't we? So yeah, every single weekend after this one, weather permitting, obviously, because we do get some very bad and strong winds here in Blackpool, I will obviously be out doing the winter walk around videos all winter up until March next year. So yeah, we're going to be having a look around today at crowd levels, and I have been around the park all morning. I'm filming this now about 1:30 in the afternoon. The park is open until 5, and yeah, it's actually been the busiest day of November so far. Big one is averaging about 50-minute queue on one train. Most of the other rides, Icon about 20 minutes, Avalanche 20 minutes, Infusion about 20 minutes as well, because they do running on 1 or 2 trains, reduced capacity. But yeah, going to be an interesting final day here today. There is fireworks at the end of the day. Whether I film them or not, I'm unsure yet. But yeah, mainly going to be going around filming the latest changes that I've been doing all season from the local park of Ice Blast, because some more changes, even more changes have happened to that ride, and even more changes have happened over at the Grand Prix as well. So yeah, let's crack on with this final Inside the Park update for 2024. Blimey, that sun's bright today. It's good to see some good weather conditions here for the final day, because some of the weekends prior have been pretty poor here at Pleasure Beach. But yeah, we're going to start off with the Ice Blast, as we always do here in these updates. And even more work has happened since the last update last Sunday. We've got the very top of the tower. That would obviously be sitting right up there. Have we been mentioning how all the posters naming the ride's name, the flag, the height detector, the wind beacon has all still been remaining on there? But obviously in the last week they have removed all that and put some of the parts here on the ground. Unsure whether it's going to be getting the sort of full re-theme, but I have seen from afar that from about halfway up the tower up to the very top, they have painted it blue, and it's the same colour as Big One supports and Infusion supports. I'll step a bit further afar in the next clip so you can hopefully see the paint scheme, but obviously the scaffolding is covering quite a lot of that up. But yeah, interesting how they removed all the signage and different detailing on board the top of the tower here and placed it on the ground. So yeah, unsure what's going to be happening with this ride. Obviously throughout the winter, as always, I will be showing various different updates, the best I can do from public spaces from outside the park, of what's happening inside the park. Obviously throughout the tunnel, that's obviously another good vantage point looking through the Grand Prix, but we'll get to that later on. It's just interesting now what's happening with Ice Blast. As I keep saying throughout the episodes, no word has happened from the park, no one knows what's actually happening. Obviously we know, unlike the Grand Prix, this is going to be staying, and a full refurbishment is currently taking place, but we don't know if it is going to be getting a full re-theme into the Viking area here that you can see with Valhalla and Loki's. And mentioning Loki's, I did say I wonder if they're going to strip the roof away, and well, they have. Obviously it did suffer a bit of weather damage a few weeks ago, and well, they are well and truly repairing that roof structure up there. So obviously it's probably watertight again, and probably changing a lot of the inside as well, because I have heard from some of the staff in there, the reason why the second floor for eating wasn't open because there was a lot of asbestos up there. So hopefully they can sort all that out and get the upstairs open again next year. But good to see that they are fixing the roof, hopefully making it watertight, because it did suffer from a few leaks on the very heavy downpours we do get here in Blackpool. So yeah, Loki's is currently getting work. Ice Blast is definitely getting some major work happening to it, with, as I said, the top of the tower there all stripped down, and the top of the tower to about the halfway mark, probably where that platform is there that's sticking out, is now painted blue. But yeah, I'll step further back so you can hopefully see the blue paint that's now been applied to the tower. Right, so it might be pretty hard to see. I'll put a circle or an annotation on the screen, but halfway up the tower here, obviously it's the old colour white, but just about there it transitions into the new colour, the blue colour. Hopefully you can see it, but yeah, it's pretty hard to see with all the scaffolding covering up the tower at the minute. If I find any other vantage points from other sections of the park, and I'll obviously insert them in, but you can kind of tell here, obviously the halfway looking down it's all white, and then from about there onwards, from about that platform there upwards, you can see the blue all the way up to the top of the tower. So another view then of the paint, the best I can. The sun is shining on it currently, so you might be able to see it slightly better, but again, obviously where that platform's sticking out on the right hand side, if you look at the actual tower itself, you can see white further down and then blue going up. So hopefully this could be the start of a new paint scheme for Ice Blast. Maybe it's going to be rethemed to a blue tower. But obviously as we progress through the winter, through the close season, and obviously into next year, from doing the outside the park updates, I'll try my very best to show the latest painting changes happening over on the Ice Blast. But yeah, you can clearly see now with that sun shining on it, it's white further down here, and then it is blue going up the tower as well. So yeah, that's going to do it for this Ice Blast update today. I'm moving over to the Grand Prix. Right, yeah, I've actually just come out of the park quickly to have a look at what coaster pieces, ride vehicles are out here in the car park currently. I did mention a few weeks ago that some attractions in Nickelodeon Land were done for the year, one of them being the Krusty Krab drop tower. So you can see at the very top of the tower there, that would normally obviously highlight up, say now open, and you can see both of the ride gondolas here. Obviously that would line each side of the tower to go up and down. We've got some more parts over there, I'm not too sure what they're from. I think maybe from the taxi spin ride. I think they could be parts of the arm that would lift the taxis up and down. We'll pan round over there, but we have got some wooden coaster cars like Streak and Dipper, and you can see in the distance over there one of the big one trains. But yeah, I'll pan round over there so you can get a better view of them as well. So yeah, Nickelodeon Streak does have two trains. It doesn't run both at the same time. I don't think the ride's set up to run two trains, but you can just see there on the very base of that car, it is slightly green. So that is one of the spare trains for Nickelodeon Streak here, and obviously that will be all three carriages here, all wrapped up, being protected. We have got other stuff further down here. We've got some spare wires, it seems here. Are these Revolution wires that would be on the launches? Or are they other different things like the motor wire that would run up the infusion lift hill? These look smaller cars to them ones there from Nickelodeon Streak. Are these the Big Dipper ones under here? Obviously we can only see the wheels here on the bottom, but they do look like either Big Dipper or some of the trains from Grand National. And one of the three trains, because Avalanche does have three, it is running the two today, which it definitely does need it because the queue is quite big inside the park. Here's one of the trains, obviously split in half, so technically that will be one car, that'll be another car, and so on and so on. Obviously one of the three trains here from the Avalanche. That one over there in the clear wrapper, that is the green train from the Grand National. Whether these two here then are the Grand National or Big Dipper, I'm not too sure, but obviously Big Dipper is closed at the minute, so unsure whether that is here, or it could be over here actually by the big one. We do have some big one shells here, and another wooden coaster car over there as well. So yeah, let's just head over here to look at the big one. Sadly the big one is only on one train today, and it definitely could do with being on two because the queue is absolutely horrific. It's extremely big, probably about 60-minute waiting time at the minute. But yeah, here you can see four of the carriages here. You've got the front car there, and then another three here, and then you've got the fifth car here, being obviously it has the rear lights on it. You can see over there in the distance some pink motors there from the taxi ride that would obviously help lift the cars up and down. Not too sure from this angle what train that rides from. Obviously it's from one of the wooden coasters, but I'm not too sure which one. But yeah, we'll just pan around there and see if we can see anything as well. But yeah, here's one of the big one trains just sitting out here getting ready for its winter maintenance. Here's a close look then at some of the motors that would be on the taxi ride. Obviously each end you'd have one of those steel silver arms I showed you from that compound over there, would hook on probably to one of them bolt sections there, and obviously this is probably like a hydraulic canister that would help the arm move up and down as well. There's a front view there of one of the trains, and this train here is the blue train from the Grand National. You can just about make it out there on the bottom. It is blue, and it is a 3-car train from the Grand National. So obviously we have the green one in that compound and the blue one here as well. So yeah, not a lot of coaster trains out here at the minute. I would imagine obviously once the park is done after today, the next following week there would be a lot more in here. It'll just be a lot more difficult to show you them up close, because normally once the park, you're not really meant to be in these car parks. So yeah, I thought I'd take full advantage today whilst the park is open to show you these up close today. But yeah, I'll head back inside the park now and show you what's happened with the Grand Prix. For the final day, the big one is open for the whole day, 11 till 4 on 5 carriages, and it definitely needs to be said because the queue is absolutely horrific on that ride, I'm afraid. Obviously it's only got the one train because the other ones have been took off earlier in the year for the winter maintenance. But yeah, the queue is at the bottom of the ramp into the extended queue at the bottom, looking at about 50-minute waiting time for that attraction. But yeah, the big one, it's good to see it's open for the final day here today. Righty-ho, there's been some more progress on the Big Dipper since last Sunday's update. Obviously last week I mentioned that they have removed the brake off the main track there, but also now they have removed the one up there, as you can see from the offload as well. You can see some wet floor signs in the position of where the brake would be, and we've also got a load of different scaffolding pieces here now, a lot more debris knocking around. We've got some wires hanging down from where the ride enters the tunnel down here, with some more debris there on the actual track. They have started painting up some sections as well and covering some sections up, like you see you got a bit of wood panelling down there. I wonder if the reason for it getting its brakes removed, they're going to put some new brakes in it. Are they going to put a new programming system on it? Are they going to get automatic brakes like Grand National? Unsure at the minute. We don't really know what's happening with the Big Dipper. Obviously it did have its 100th birthday not too long ago, and it's been running fine ever since. So maybe they've now finally decided, in order for it to run on 2 trains in a safe way going forward, they might need to change the programming system. But yeah, we've got all sorts of little bits of debris knocking around here, and there is normally a certificate on the wall just there. That's actually just been plonked down here at my feet, showing Richard Rodriguez when he did his 1,000 hours challenge on the Big Dipper. But yeah, that's your look at Big Dipper this week. Obviously Big Dipper is one of those rides in the off season, in the winter, where I can obviously get some shots from inside the tunnel looking into the parks. Yeah, interesting what's going on with the Big Dipper at the minute, and no news has come out as to say what they're doing with this ride. Probably just some quick touch-ups and a good refurbishment. Right, you've just seen some aerial shots from up on the higher walkways, the bridge and the pathway over there. Obviously back down here now for a ground view. I have the latest changes with the Grand Prix, and well, it has all finally gone. The whole helix section leading back into the building up there, and obviously what came out of the building here by the monorail has all gone. It's all rubble. There's no more helix section here for the Grand Prix. Obviously the track that remains is going to focus. There you go. There is some track sections obviously over there towards the glass bridge which remain intact. I would imagine, as they've been saying for weeks, they would start doing them bits in the off season. But yeah, no more Grand Prix helix anyway. It's just piles of rock, parts of steel, bits of track all over the place. But yeah, they have kept these 4 trees and the fountain intact, so maybe they are going to do what I've been saying. Obviously the Century Garden is there, it's all intact as well, and they're going to obviously during the off season clear it all up, flatten it, grass it over and make it a bigger Century Garden and quiet zone here in the park until they decide when they're going to put this new attraction and what attraction it will be. Obviously we're all hoping it's a new coaster. Saturday the 30th, final day of the park, has all gone and they haven't messed about. As I said, it took about 3 weeks to clear from leaving the station, the whole helix to go back into the station. They haven't messed around at all. They've clearly come along and knocked it down. It's just the clean-up work now that needs to take place on this attraction. Here's a look then at what the concrete wall used to be. You can see they've knocked the wall over here, all the brickwork. There's an old support still sticking out of the ground here, and obviously little bits of the old concrete track that would lead up into the wooden helix section is all still here. Obviously they have got the rest of the winter now before the new year to clean it up and to get this a much nicer and inviting site for the next year. We've still got piles of wood there in the background, and obviously the section you can see beyond the bridge still there intact, but yeah, next year it will all be gone hopefully. Right, so that is the group that came along and knocked the helix section down, the Fox group, and they wasted no time, did they? Because obviously it is all gone, as I keep mentioning. Still got piles of wood, piles of rocks, concrete, everything's still knocking about, but obviously I would imagine it'll all be gone, ready for the next year, because we don't want to leave it still looking like this. And as I keep mentioning, hopefully the new attraction is on the horizon as well. Obviously we've got some bits of wiring and concrete rebar down here as well, so who knows what's going to be happening with this space. Well, you've just seen some shots there of the park's fireworks. There's nothing special. I've never rated the fireworks here at the Pleasure Beach. Obviously it is nice that they do them, but on a day like today where the park is 11 till 5, obviously the whole ride in the south end of the park do close at 4, so effectively it's 11 till 4 for the majority of the park. But yeah, they're not on the same scale as obviously Alton Towers. They obviously have a smaller version here at the Pleasure Beach. Still good that they actually managed to squeeze in some fireworks into this tightly packed park. The Seagull National there, that's doing its very last train of the 2024 season. It's now about 5:30. But yeah, that's it for the inside the park updates from the Pleasure Beach this year. Obviously I've showed more about the Ice Blast, how it's been repainted blue near the top. Is that going to be a hint for a new colour scheme for next year? And obviously I've showed more of the Grand Prix, how it's all finally gone. The whole Helix section has finally gone on that ride. So yeah, as Grand National now sets off on its very last train of the year, there it goes. Those riders are now the very last people on board the National for 2024. That's going to wrap it up for the 2024 Inside the Park updates for this year. Obviously, we'll be back most weekends, as I said at the start, weather permitting, doing obviously walk around through the tunnel, the prom, down the back of the park on Bond Street. And we'll be doing plenty of them throughout the winter, obviously showing changes with Ice Blast, what happens with the Grand Prix site, and if anything happens with the Bowl-A-Drome. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button if you want to, and obviously hit that thumbs up. But yeah, thank you for watching the Inside the Park updates for this season. But as I keep saying, I'll be back with more.